Hello and welcome back to the Ash and Stone channel. My name is Chris, and today I've got a preview of the upcoming game Hairfoot Jousting, written by Joseph A. McCullough, published by Osprey, with the figures by North Star. Hairfoot Jousting is a bit of a lark, really. You take a team of 3 jousters and compete in either a one-off tourney or as part of an ongoing series. Yes, as a game from Joseph, it does include campaign rules, so you can develop your team of jousters over a series of games. Riding giant animals and equipped with the latest and greatest from the kitchen or garden shed, your halflings will take to the pitch in a barely controlled melee to see who will come out on top. So let's start by having a look at the figures. North Star very kindly sent me the 6 Hairfoot jousters in the initial release, so let's see the raw models next to some painted examples. First up, we have a gardener on a big old pig. He's armed with a hoe, wears a slightly modified watering can on his head, and carries a shovel as a shield. Definitely one of the more equipped figures. Secondly, we have a cook on a fluffy sheep. Our jouster has a huge grin on his face as he holds his rolling pin high to the adoring crowd. He's strapped various pans and skillets to himself and his mount, and wears a cauldron on his head. I think this is my favourite one, he just looks so ridiculously cute. Third is a farmer on his faithful hound. He's wearing a broad-brimmed hat and overalls and is armed with a flagpole as a lance. I keep wanting to call him a farm boy, but he's a fully grown halfling. Fourth is a halfling woman. Half-ess, woe halfling. Hairfootess. On a vicious goose. She's got her dress hiked up around her knees and a stout wooden club, ready to show to the boys what's what. Fifth is Grandad on his puffed up prize turkey. He's brandishing his walking stick while laughing like a madman, his wild hair sticking out all over the show. He's got a bit of a long chin beard going on too. I'm not sure if it's real or it's just there for show. And finally, we've got the guy taking it all a little bit too seriously. We have a halfling knight on a giant weasel. He's decked out in a fine set of plate armour. Is it steel or cardboard? That's for you to decide. Including a massive plume and wielding a flagstaff. I've given the models an undercoat of grey, a black wash and a light grey dry brush to show off how badly I cleaned up the mould lines. I mean to better show the details before they're painted. The mould lines themselves are fairly minimal, which is always a good thing, and they aren't too difficult to clean up with a knife and file, though I did encounter a number of random zits and bumps. These are mainly on the undersides of the models, and I suspect they are leftover support material from 3D printed masters. They are easy enough to remove with a quick slice of a hobby knife, but they are just something to be aware of. The models themselves ooze character and are fantastic for conveying the cute and less than serious vibe of the game itself. The game has been designed with 60mm bases in mind, and the pitch size varies around 600 to 750mm in diameter, though you've seen my rank and flank models and you know that I am a contrarian. I felt the models looked a little lost on bases that large, so what I've done is I've cut all of the measurements in half. Models go on a 30mm base, the pitch size is shrunk in half, and the movement templates are all printed at 50%. It's an easy fix for my set, though it may complicate matters if you are playing with lots of others. So how does the game play then? Let's start by letting you know what you'll need. For a 2-player game, you'll need 3 miniatures per player, 4 6-sided dice, a roster sheet each, a set of movement templates, and a place to play. The roster sheet and movement templates are included in the book, and PDFs are available to download from the Osprey Games website. You can play with 3 or 4 players, each with 2 miniatures, and I'd suggest even 6 players wouldn't be a problem, with 1 miniature each. Your jousters each ride a mount which has a special attribute. These attributes affect the way a jouster moves or the way they collide with teammates and obstacles. And each jouster has a special strike and special defence which become relevant when they strike or are struck by a member of the opposite team. As a campaign season goes on, your jousters have the ability to earn special equipment, extra skills, and loyal fans, among other things. The rules for the game itself are quite simple. The gist of it is thus. Both players roll to determine who goes first, and then players alternate to move each of their jousters in turn. Movement is somewhat random. You turn your jouster in the direction you want to go and spur your mount to charge. But giant geese or fluffy sheep don't always go where you want them to. You roll a d6 and use the corresponding movement template to determine where you go. Some mounts, of course, allow you slightly more control over this. Placing the movement template in contact with the front of the jouster's base, the figure moves to the end of the template, bumping off friends, striking out at any opponents contacted along the way, and ploughing straight into any obstacles. Each time you run into a friend or obstacle, one of your jousters loses endurance, and each time you successfully strike an opponent, you cause them to lose endurance. Starting from 10, once a figure's endurance reaches 0, they've had enough and it's time for some ale and a snack. I can relate to that. When you strike at an opponent, you will roll your strike dice, and your opponent will roll their defense dice. You take the highest roll from either side, add a bonus if there are any doubles, triples or quadruples, and whoever has the highest result wins that bout. Doubles, triples or quadruples also allow you to use your special attacks and defences. If the striker wins, the defender loses endurance equal to the lowest strike dice, and if the defender wins, they successfully defend themselves. A jouster can strike at multiple opponents in a single move. Special strikes and defences allow you to manipulate you and your opponent's position on the field, the dice rolled for any further strikes, and the excitement of the crowd, among other things. Speaking of which, each time something exciting happens, the crowd gets hyped, and you can convert the crowd's excitement into re-rolls for your team. Once all of the figures for one team have retired, victory will go to the team with models still on the field. Pretty straightforward, but there's also further nuance in there that I haven't covered to keep things interesting. There are 6 famous pitches included with the rules, such as Pipe Leaf Downs, the Puddles and Baker's Run, and each has unique layouts, special rules and random events to add even more chaos to the mix. If the adorably cute Hairfoot halflings aren't to your taste, the rules also include a twisted mirror version of the game. The wart-nosed goblins are nasty where the Harefoots are fun-loving. Instead of fluffy and bouncy mounts, they ride icky insects and vicious mole rats and the like. Instead of being good sports there for a laugh, they focus on dirty tricks and taunts, skulls and spikes, jeering and creating true enemies. And they play in horrible arenas like the Bone Theatre and the Wheel of Death. But all in all, it is a good fun game, nothing to be taken too seriously, but a great and entertaining way of rolling a few dice with your mates. If you are playing with your kids, they will love it, and it's even caught the eye of the missus. In a good way, not in the what have you brought this time way things normally go. So I'm certainly looking forward to spending some time in Pipe Leaf Downs.